All right, we are back at the Built by Vitality podcast. My name is Steve Pinkerton, and I'm sitting next to
Philip Lewis.
And we have
Spencer.
Back on the show, we got Spencer. So today's episode, we're going to talk about two different things. We're going to talk about a challenge, one that I've been waiting to run for a while. I've just kind of been a sissy about it. And the second thing we're talking about is Guadapalooza and Spencer's trip to Miami.
Oh, yeah.
Miami.
All right. So if there's one person that I would love to follow around Miami, it would be Spencer. I just want to see. I want to see what
how
it would.
he acts in
Just
Miami.
how,
You don't
Miami,
want to follow me in Miami?
Why is that?
I think that I don't think Miami is suited to Spencer's personality, if you
Negative.
will. So I think it'd be enjoyable to kind of see some of the interactions. So we'll get into that. But first, the bulk of this is going to be a challenge that I think I would love to have. I'm doing it. I would love to have some people, some of our listeners do it and tackle it with me. I was explaining to Spencer, I said, hey, you should come on the show today and we're going to talk about a challenge that I think will make you better. And the challenge doesn't involve liver. It doesn't involve pain. It doesn't involve cold. But it does involve getting better, like making yourself better. So Spencer is somebody, I know you wouldn't do it because you're kind of a, you're kind of a baby.
It's kind of a mental, right?
Yeah, a little
This
bit,
challenge.
yes. I said, man, I bet you Spencer would agree to do that challenge before I even gave him any of the details. If I just gave him those parameters, like it's not going to be dumb, like, hey, go jump in our cold plunge for 30 minutes until you get
Pass
hypothermia
out,
and
or,
pass
yeah.
out.
Look like an eggplant, like
But it's going to
turn purple.
But it's going to make you better. So my question to you is, you're willing to accept this without even knowing anything about it,
Yeah.
and you know nothing about this.
So I was exactly what you said. I was told it wouldn't be, terrible. It would cause any pain. And you said it'll get you better. In that sense, like, why wouldn't you just say
why
yes?
wouldn't you do Why wouldn't anybody just be like, I'm in? But the majority of people,
Tell me what it is first.
I got to know what it is. Yep.
Give me a hint.
The amount of stuff we do daily that
Don't
between
feel
y'all
good.
doing jiu-jitsu and CrossFit and me doing CrossFit and whatever else, like, you go through a lot of pain just to get better.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do something that
doesn't hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Most of the time, it's the little things that probably, I don't know what it is, but probably something that makes you better.
We are going to do a screen time challenge.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to try and we're going to base it very, very simple rules. I don't want to make it too complex so people are like, well, I get 13.7 hours of this. We're going to make it real simple. You're going to have 4 rules. There is no social media accounts. I'm not saying we delete them so they disappear, so you no longer exist. You just remove the app. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're going to lump YouTube in here because YouTube comes in later for one of my issues. So that's the first one. No social media accounts. The second one, no news. No news.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll get into each one of these in a little bit. The third one, the phone is used for texting and phone calls only. All right. Fourth, no phone while you're eating.
That's big.
Right.
Yeah.
That for me was that's a big one for me. And I'll get into that in a minute. And then the bonus here, the fifth one is we must read a minimum of 10 pages a day of something.
You didn't tell me that one.
Oh, well,
I like that.
I didn't sign up for that one.
First,
I'm not in that challenge.
How many books have you read, Philip?
Like one, and I was made to read it in school.
and the reason Philip couldn't do this with me is because I remembered that I hired him to run our social media, and branding here at Vitality.
Yeah,
So
that makes it tough on him.
But I agreed to delete everything except the Vitality Fitness Instagram. So when I need to post something, I'll post it, get right back off. I won't scroll.
Yep.
And then if I need to post something on our YouTube channel, I'll post it, get off. I'm not going to be searching things, looking at it. I'm not going to have TikTok or anything. All that stuff's going to be gone.
Okay, so good, you're in. And no phone while you're eating.
Nope.
You're going to read 10 minutes a day, which is probably about a page and a half. Crap.
Or if you read 10, it might take him an hour.
It's like, wait a minute, that's not a lie. I was like, oh, that's me.
Okay, so why do this? Simple. Quality of life. When I look at those things, I look at what are we losing? What are we missing out on? Social media. what do we find on social media? Someone else's fantasy world, triggers to make us mad about something, something divisive that someone's posting, because that's the reason people post on social media is for a couple reasons: attention or for a reaction. Now, you can get into this where some people, I would use Spencer as a perfect example. As an athlete in the sport of CrossFit, you almost have to advertise yourself to a certain extent, because a lot of what he does, a lot of what these athletes are doing, are they're trying to get some recognition in the sport of CrossFit. So there's a subset of people that I think that makes sense to do, but there's also this other subset of people that they're not competing in anything. They just want someone to look at their picture and comment on it or whatever.
That, or they just take it to a too far of an extent. Go overboard on it, you know.
Yep. And look, if you've got millions of followers, then you're going to look at that account, and there's something with that. You're appealing through sex appeal. You're appealing through some type of stance where you've really you've triggered enough people to want to follow you or whatever.
You got whatever it is, you just got that one.
There's usually an extreme level of what you have to do to have that many followers, or you're really, really good at what it is your job is or whatever. So when we get rid of social media, I don't think that's, no one's going to be like, oh man, Steve, you didn't post in the month of February. Oh my gosh.
Nobody's going to pay attention.
What happened? No, you just get lost in the nobody knows that.
Yeah, no one's keeping track. They're just scrolling.
Yeah.
And when you watch people with their phones, what are they doing?
They're in a lost world.
Scrolling.
They're literally scrolling. It's crazy, but that's what I'll do sometimes. Before I take a 25-minute nap, I'll usually scroll through Instagram for 5 or 6 minutes. I'll read for about 10 minutes, and I'll take a nap, It's so dumb. Like, why would I scroll through Instagram while I'm getting ready to lay down? It doesn't make any sense. News. What good comes from the news? I used to think it was knowledge. I used to think it was like knowledge is power. Like, I know what's going on in the world. I can have somewhat intelligent conversations with other people that want to talk about current events. But that's not the case anymore. It's no longer about staying relevant. It's the news cares only about ratings, period. That's it. Eyeballs and ratings. And, a perfect example is this. One of my favorite things to do is usually I'm heading home between 5 and 6 p.m. and I'll call my dad at 5:30 or 5:40. I know exactly what he's doing. He's watching the news every day. From 5 to 6, he watches the news. And I'll call him, and when you call somebody and you can tell, like, right when they answer the phone, they don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
But they answer it
They're
because
preoccupied, but they answer anyway.
That is cap. 1,000%. And every time I ask him, like, I don't know, I'm like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, watching the news. I said, okay. And he's got one of these entertainment systems that does everything but makes you breakfast. I mean, you can do anything from this thing. It's got one of those, you remember the, I don't know why I'm asking you. The TI-80, like the algebra calculators.
Yeah,
I remember.
84.
Yeah, the 84. Yeah.
They used to spell bad words and flip it upside down.
That's true.
That's for sure what Philippa did. You know how many buttons that thing's got?
A lot. There's a lot.
That's my dad's remote control, and he don't know any of them. Nothing.
Just the news.
It's like that movie Vacation when he gets in the
gosh.
car and have you seen Vacation? He gets
Christmas Vacation?
No.
Just Vacation.
The new Vacation.
No.
Really?
I ain't seen it.
What is it?
It's called Vacation.
I don't on social media that much, so I don't.
It's a movie. It's not social media. Russ is growing up, and he takes his family across to Wally World.
Oh, it's the new
It's like a
version
new-
of that.
Yeah, okay.
I have not seen that. No. What
Anyway,
happened? Sorry.
he rents this crazy car, and it's got all these buttons in it that he has no idea
can't
what
even
they
use
are.
it.
You need to watch that movie. It's dumb funny. It's nowhere near as funny as Christmas
As the
Vacation,
original.
but it's ridiculously dumb and funny.
Is it based on like Christmas time too?
No, it's
No?
not.
Okay.
It's just him
Taking his kids
Yeah,
to-
it's
okay.
him growing up. You know?
Okay.
It's-
I know we're getting off on like a little tangent here, but what's the What was the original one where they went to Wally World?
That was...
What was that? National Lampoon's Vacation? There was just a thing.
Yeah, that was National Lampoon's Vacation.
But it's the new version of that?
And then you've got like the Europe something, and then you've got the Vegas Vacation. But the Christmas Vacation is what, you write home about. Then they created this one. This is the newest one. And it's pretty good. It's
got
pretty
a fancy
good.
car, can't even use it.
So anyway, my old man's got this remote, and all he's got to do every time is just press pause. It's not 1974 where
you have to watch it.
I'm gonna miss it.
You're gonna miss it. If you had to like run to the bathroom during the commercial break, and you'd be running back.
That's crazy. This generation don't know anything about that.
No, you're like. Pause.
You watch a movie with your family or something, and the commercial or whatever comes on, and you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get a snack." I'm gonna
Everybody
go back.
be sprinting through the house.
You
Like, oh my God, what happened? They're like, shut up.
Yeah, now you just pause it.
Yeah. So that's my old man, and so the right challenge for him would be a flip phone and probably one of those old school tube TVs with the bunny ears on the top. That would be perfect for him because that's about his technology level of understanding. So, but the news is, man, it's so divisive. And the point of that story is I'll call him and he's usually fired up about something.
Riles him up.
Yeah.
He's been at work all day. He's coming home. He's sitting down, and he's watching the news, and there's so many triggers that they're talking about because that's what makes people watch.
Yeah.
You get so riled up about it, and
especially if you watch one or the other.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about it's CNN or MSNBC. I'm talking about all of them.
They all do it. It's just might be about something different. It's still gonna rile you up.
Yes. So will you be out of the loop a little bit if you don't watch for a month? Sure. I maybe wouldn't know.
You can look at your weather app. You don't need to know that there was a...
Yeah.
I don't know.
But let me ask you this. If the three of us, if we don't watch the news for the last 2 years, is it any different than what I know from... I watched the news every day for 2 years since the pandemic started. I'm just as confused
as everybody
else that never turned on the TV.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're living out of the Stone Ages,
No, but...
So, yes, will it be weird to not turn the news on at night? Yeah, there's a part of me, but then that's that part of me that I don't need it. It's almost like an addiction with food or something else where you need that divisiveness or something because you're so used to being riled up about something that you have no control over.
I get mad when I eat. If I set up my phone in the kitchen, when I prop it up on the paper towel holder or something, and I set it up, got my YouTube video or whatever going, I'm like, time to eat, and it goes...
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll break it. I'll freaking break. I'm like, I'm getting rage right here. I'm eating. Relax. I'm on break.
Yes.
Call my phone.
And that segues into using the phone during the meals. Mm-hmm. This is big for me. I will do the same thing where usually I'm in the kitchen by myself. Now at night, I don't have any issue at home. Not like I'm, eating with my family and I got my phone up and I'm, eating and not paying attention. Like I'll pay attention and not use my phone. But at work, I spend 12 hours a day here. Mm-hmm. So you're eating 3 times. We all are.
Yeah.
And we find ourselves going through YouTube and I'll find something. And guess what? It's usually something that is news related or, something dumb that it just came up as funny. It's not like I'm learning anything, but I'm looking at this and just eating my food. And we all do it, I'm not saying it's terrible, but it's probably not something we need to be doing.
Yeah.
Focus on what you're eating. Actually take a break.
Yeah.
Like just listen to you chew. Like it sounds terrible, but just actually relax.
Matter if we're in there together, I'll scroll, but actually talk to each other.
Yeah, imagine that. And I'm the worst at that because I'm usually... And we're all in a situation to where our job description requires us to be very social when we're out on the floor.
With people all day.
So a lot of times, Spencer comes up and he's been training for 2 hours and talking and coaching for 2 hours, and it makes sense that you just kind of want to be like, you know what, I just want to dive
Chill
in here.
out. Yeah.
But we all feel that way, and we all just sit here and we're like, man, why wouldn't we just have a conversation? You know, I can count on one hand how many times we all sat at the circular table and just like ate a meal together. But, you know, and we usually only overlap we only miss each other by 5 or 6 minutes. So we're usually all in there, but we're just kind of coming and going. So I think that will be something that will be hard, because your initial reaction is you're going to be like, oh, put my phone up and be like, oh, shoot, I can't watch that today.
Yeah.
And you'd be in a bad mood, like, God, what a dumb challenge this is, you know? So
I think YouTube for me is going to be the toughest.
yeah.
Because when I lay down at night and everything, I'm getting ready for bed, whatever, I'll lay down, pull up YouTube, whether I'm searching something I want to know, photography, videography, I'm looking at somebody that does it and showing me, or just looking up a funny video, music video, something Nate sent me, whatever. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm probably not going to pick reading. I'll probably get more sleep.
Yeah.
I'll probably end up just falling asleep because I'm not looking at my phone. It's going to be better
you don't
for
think
me in
about
general.
blue light too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're looking right at your phone right before bed.
Yeah.
And, you know, my daughter Reagan, you know, she has an issue getting to sleep a lot of times, and she'll use melatonin at times. And I get on her because I'm like, man, I don't want you to relying on melatonin your whole
Good
life.
stuff.
But the reason is, think about it. If we're constantly, every time we have downtime or free time, we're usually, this is the first thing we reach for, you know? And when you don't have that, you don't even know like how to occupy your time without having something in your hands.
Yeah, true.
And so I think that'll be a big part of this, is just kind of like, hey, you know what? I don't need this thing connected to me all the time. And my excuse for years has been, I need to be able to have my phone on me in case something happens at the gym. But somehow that turns into Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Just in case I got a YouTube, that makes no sense.
Got to tie a belt and jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, that's the no eating while you're, or no watching screens while you're eating. The last one is reading. And this is a good one. People's initial reaction, yours will be,
I don't want to read.
I don't want to read. I don't have time for that.
I have time for it. God, I just, like you said, I just don't want to. But yeah,
Cool.
I got to find something interesting to read.
Yep. And I would pick something that I'm not saying that you shouldn't read, fiction books. I'm not saying that Harry Potter books aren't good. That is not what I'm saying. But I think that there's so much knowledge out there for you. I would be reading investment books all day long, twice on Sunday, or I'd be reading something about investment properties or something that excites you that way.
That I'm interested in.
That you're interested in, and that you can really, because people think, I'll never be able to learn that. You might never be an expert at it, but man, you can be pretty dangerous with anything with just reading a couple books. Mm-hmm. What's the last book you read, Spencer? Anything good?
I was halfway through. It's The Genius of Jesus. It's pretty much, it takes a side like faith, and this is like a book directly towards, it's for people with faith, but kind of towards more of people just in general, like the geniuses of humans, like Albert Einstein, a bunch of them, and kind of compares them to Jesus to an extent without faith being involved. So it kind of explains we still talk about Jesus now to this day, and for obvious reasons, but putting that aside, like he made a huge impact, and it just went into explaining like some of the aspects of that and like how that makes him somewhat of a genius and stuff like that.
Do you have a limit of time that you try and read every day? Is it
I've been actually on the Benham's Bible study, which they read 2 or 3 or 4 chapters in the Bible every day just to read through it in a year. So I've been doing that. It started back in January again, where you restart it again. So I do that, and I've been on that starting January 1st. But that's the goal, to stay on that. But also, same thing. I want to read some investment books. I got Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I just got.
Great book.
So I need to read that.
I got a book I bring. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? It's about
I'm telling you, man.
It's a good one. It's about,
What is it about?
it's about business.
I think Charlie brought that home from the lower school library.
I'll bring it.
Okay, bring it in. We'll do a little after action.
What is it called again?
Who moved my cheese?
There you go. There you go. So here's the thing. Let's look at our phones real quick. Let's click
here
on
we go.
settings.
Yep.
Go to screen time,
Yep.
and then go to see all activity. And for those listening or whatever, take out your phone, go to your settings, click on screen time, and then what'll happen is right under the daily average where it gives you hours and minutes, you just want to click see all activity. And then at the bottom of that page, it'll give you your most used and give you your daily time. So what's the most?
Gosh.
What's your the thing you use the most?
Mine says most used Pandora, 8 hours and 20 minutes.
Okay, that doesn't count. That's a
The next one's
app.
Instagram, 6 hours and 3 minutes.
Oh my god.
Do you have?
Is that today?
Let's go
Oh,
day.
click on day, yeah.
Go day. So you're at.
Dang, Philip.
That's not bad. So YouTube is 18 minutes. Facebook is 10 minutes. Instagram is 7 minutes. So
That was
you're,
today. I've been kind of busy today.
you're at 35 minutes.
That's
Yeah.
really
right
good,
there.
Philip. Really good.
I guess if you spend 3 hours and 20 minutes at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, let's go. Can you go to a different day? Yeah, we can go back a day.
Go back a day.
Let's go yesterday.
Okay, so now
we
we go
go.
back to. Okay, here we go.
Yesterday.
TikTok, 1 hour, 22 minutes. YouTube, 1 hour, 22 minutes. Instagram, 1 hour. So Philip,
Over
in
3
one day, 3 hours and 45 minutes of those
Social media.
But
accounts.
how do you know I wasn't doing something else during it?
Okay, you might have
That's
been.
true, but
So maybe it was
still.
only 2.5
On
hours.
TikTok.
So
My phone's messed up.
think about that. So now we
That's a
look at
lot.
this and we say, okay, well, what was your three? What were your three highest?
So
Spence?
for today, I was on Instagram for 45, Whoop for 25, Google Sheets for 17 messages for 24.
Okay.
So not terrible, but pretty terrible at the same time.
Yeah.
Which I've been sending some message. Hey, how are you?
I just hung up with my wife. I was trying to. Oh man.
I thought it was serious. You hung up on your wife. man.
Sorry, Jess.
But still, 45 minutes is a long time. That could be somewhere else.
So when you look at that, man, think about the time.
through the week,
that was
saves.
Sunday.
This is Sunday, 2 hours on Instagram, an hour and a half on TikTok, and an hour on Facebook, and an hour on YouTube.
That
1,
was
2, 3,
this
4,
past Sunday, I think.
5.5 hours in a day. So think about it this way. What can we do with
Gosh.
that time that we're adding? It's crazy. And so my point of looking at that is when someone says, oh, I don't have time for 10 minutes of reading,
Okay.
I beg
Okay.
to differ.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people say, oh, it's my time to relax. It's my time to kind of zone out. And I get that. And, maybe after a month of not doing it, you can appreciate a little more. It's kind of like with any type of nutrition, when you eliminate sugar for a month, you're like, I don't want to take sugar away from my life forever. Okay. But at least I know the impact it has on my body because I feel way better. So now when I eat sugar, I know what it's doing to me. So now when you
It's
spend
awareness. Like you just.
Yep. You just got to be aware of it. So
Yeah.
I think that's huge. And trust me, when you guys have kids and you have your kid do an hour in front of a TV or in front of their iPad or whatever, they turn into aliens, like
Locked in.
terrorists,
Yeah.
straight
If
up.
you try to take it away or something.
Oh, afterwards, you
when
mean?
they're done, they're terrorists.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And then it's like if you get them away from it for like an hour or two, it breaks that hold and they turn into like normal humans again.
Dang.
I cannot explain it. Anybody with kids will tell you that that's 100% true. And
So let's give our kids a bunch of iPads and
exactly.
I don't have room to speak, but still.
Yeah, and it's so easy because guess what? Guess when kids aren't annoying and asking you 1,000
they're on
questions
those things.
when
Yeah.
they're on those things. So it's
Here,
easy.
play a game on my phone.
Yeah.
Just,
When
yeah.
you're on a road trip and you're on the road for 4 hours, hey, just play it. But man, it's a slippery slope. So again, those are the rules. That's the challenge. We're going to do it from February all of February. February 1st it starts,
To March
and we're
1st,
going
right?
all the way through to March 1st. And we'll see. We'll the three of us will come back on here and we'll talk through it. And I hope what I'd love to see is when Philip posts this on our social media channels, you respond and say, "Hey, I'm in." You got to give us the give us who you are and your name, and we'll put your name in a little list, and we'll keep track.
Yeah.
And that way, don't just say, "Oh, well, I did it. I'm just not going to tell them I'm doing it." That way, you know what?
Yeah.
That's like saying,
Whatever.
"Hey, you can do doubles or singles in a workout," and everyone's like, "I'll do doubles." And then as soon as you make one mistake, you're like, "I'm doing singles." As soon as the first day, you're like, "Yeah, I'm just going to watch this one day."
Just a little bit.
So put it on there, and then
I gotta talk to Morgan. Correct.
yeah.
Man.
Your spouse, your significant other is going to be like, "Man, you're so much more into," because that's another hard thing. You can look at something, it triggers you, and then when I try and switch to have conversation with Spencer, I'm still hung up on
you're
what
still
I just
thinking
saw.
about that,
You
for
know,
sure.
and I think that you're just going to be a better parent, better boyfriend, girlfriend, better spouse, better everything, better at your job.
Fiance.
Yeah.
Your-
Maddie, she's there.
Oh, yeah.
What was it?
Morgan.
It was at Guadapalooza, right? You asked her? Oh.
So that's the challenge. That's the broad rules of it, and those 5 things. We're going to start February 1st, and make sure you let us know if you're going to join us. I would imagine we'll have about 3. So
Nice.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe
1,
we'll get
2, 3.
Yeah, the 3 of us.
We could probably get Agnew.
Agnew, we talked
Maybe
about it. We'll
Brent,
see.
Maybe. Yeah.
We'll see. So
I think Brent would be in for sure.
we'll
Brent
make a
likes
list of it. Because here's the thing. Nobody's going to tell you, nobody will convince me that this will not make you better at other things that you need to need to improve on.
100%,
There's
yeah.
no way. There's nothing negative that will come of this. Nothing.
No.
The last 5 or 6 minutes, I want to get a little bit of a recap from Guadapalooza. So Spencer went down there, big CrossFit competition. He did a team, and it's in Miami. This is like the 10th or 11th year. I remember when they first started Guadapalooza. It
10th,
was,
I think, yeah.
man, crazy. It was pretty small, and every year it's just grown and grown and grown. And Guido Trinidad's the guy that puts it on down there at Peak 360, and it is a spectacle.
Yeah,
So
the past couple of years when I was down there, I had my knee injury, and then I just didn't go back this year.
were you in was it the co-ed 10 and under, or what were you doing?
We do
Let's
this
go.
every
We'll talk
time.
about it.
Every time.
So when you get down there, was it different than what you expected?
I didn't know what to expect. I knew it was gonna be big, but it was pretty legit. Like it's cool. It's bayfront, so it's like downtown I don't know if it's downtown Miami, but kind of downtown Miami, like off the bay, right off the bay. And it's a big venue. It's all fenced in. They have multiple spots. They have different locations for workouts, but one of the locations is literally you could take 5 steps and jump into the bay.
Wow.
It was cool. And I mean, it was cool to see, like, the very first day we walk in, and they have an athlete area that have security where like only athletes and coaches can go in, and you just see like Rich Froning walk around, Scott Panchik, a bunch of huge names that you've always looked up to and kind of seen on like TV or whatever, kind of by CrossFit. So it was cool to like, that's Scott Panchik.
Did they take
whoever.
care of the athletes pretty well?
Yeah, pretty well. I mean, they did everything they could, and I felt like they were really trying to take care of it. Now, I mean, I wasn't upset about this because it's more about the experience than anything else, but there was people complaining that, like, we got there, we got a Noble bag and a T-shirt, and that's in a pair of sunglasses, which is, like, I don't care about necessarily that type of stuff too much. So, it's more the
People wanted
experience.
more gear?
Yeah, because it costs more. But,
Okay.
So, it is what it is.
You got a ton of people. The thing with Guadapalooza, they were the first ones, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'll say that I think they were one of the first CrossFit competitions that they did all kinds of different categories. Adaptive vision.
Oh,
they had a youth,
Yep.
kids, teens division.
Yep.
They had masters. They had everything. So You know, it's kind of ridiculous if people that have never ran a competition
You
before,
have that many people.
you got a ton of people
Dang, get a
2,200 this year, over 2,200 competing.
Yeah. So what are you supposed to do? You
Give
want to
all
give
of them
everybody
shirts,
pairs of
man.
shoes?
You
And
can't.
you just, you know,
Yeah.
people
And
got to
most of them
understand.
compete in Speedos or underwear. Like,
Yeah.
what are they wearing?
Yeah. So I think, you know, and you're going to get that with people as
Yeah.
well, where you're never going to make them happy. But overall, it was a great experience.
It was awesome, yeah. I mean, there was a lot of ups and downs through the weekend. A lot learned, though. Definitely wish we did a little better than what we did, but I mean, you get to see how some of the bigger guys, like how they warm up, how they cool down, how they do certain things. Maybe a little bit of their mindset behind stuff. You don't really get to tack into that too much, but you get to see how they react to stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're in the same division, so to an extent, I mean, it gives you a sense of like, hey, you're not crazy far off. Like,
Where am I at?
yeah,
Yep.
for sure. And it gives you like in certain workouts kind of where your gaps are, and certain workouts where like, hey, you're right there. Like it's that, in some workouts like you beat them in it. So it's like you're on the right path, but you just got to close some gaps in certain things.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's Spencer's one of the few guys from Vitality that's really traveling and trying to do this thing. And people underestimate the level of discipline and commitment and training it takes to even get to one of these places and to be in an elite category like that. So that's cool. He keeps us kind of relevant in that competition realm. So we'll keep doing some debriefs with Spencer as he travels the world, and maybe we'll send him out to Dubai.
Oh, yeah.
Dubai would
That'd
be a
be
cool
cool.
spot.
That'd be cool. He needs a
I need
personal
a photographer.
Yes, he
Probably both
does.
need to go for that.
Yeah. You know.
I'll be the photographer. You can be the old man.
Like that.
Oh, man. All right, guys. February 1st, we are starting our challenge. Jump on board. Take advantage of it. We'll be your accountability partners. Until then, this is the Built by Vitality podcast.
And if you need something to read, Who Moved My Cheese?
Oh my goodness.
And we'll do a book review of Who Moved Phillips Cheese. All right, guys. Till next time.